लास्ट वीडियो में मेरे बाल थोड़े बाहर आ गए थे एंड इस वीडियो में भी वही होगा, सो आई अपोलोजाइज फॉर दैट. A weird thing I have noticed on my time on social media is that numbers don't make much sense. And I don't mean likes and dislikes. कुछ जो numbers होते हैं, percentage वाले figures होते हैं, in like certain contexts, usually political contexts, they change meaning more often than you would think, which kind of makes it a bit misleading in our own minds, even if it's not the reality of it. So today I'm going to be talking about that. ये थोड़ा पॉलिटिकल वीडियो है एंड आई जस्ट वांट यू टू सी द नंबर्स एंड वार्निंग, नंबर्स जो है वो स्क्रीन पे धड़ 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 आएंगे एंड यू वोंट रियली अंडरस्टैंड मेनी ऑफ इट, सो यू विल हैव टू वॉच इट अगेन इन स्लो मोशन मे बी. सो आई अपोलोजाइज, दिस वीडियो इज गोइंग टू बी अ लिटिल मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, सो बीवेयर. हियर इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ नंबर्स. लेट मी बर्स्ट योर बबल. 70% ऑफ इंडियंस डिड नॉट वोट फॉर बीजेपी. इट्स अ प्रिटी ऑब्वियस ट्रुथ which a lot of people might know. I didn't know. I was misled into believing that 70% of the population did vote for BJP, which is just not true. Maybe I am an idiot for thinking that. The truth is, in 2019 general elections, 65% seats in Lok Sabha are taken by BJP, like the NDA government, which means yes, BJP has a majority in the Parliament House Lok Sabha, 353 seats of 543, I think, yes. Now let's talk about the votes and the numbers and put it in the description. I'm making a point how numbers can be misleading. These numbers are approximate values, so and like rounded off. Keep that in mind. In 2019 Lok Sabha general elections, number of people that voted for BJP are 23 crore people. Total voters in 2019 were around 60 crores. Total population at the time in 2019 was 136 crores, of which 90 crores were registered voters, which I'm assuming means adults. So let's put that in perspective. 136 crore total population, 90 crores registered voters, 60 crores actually went and voted, and 23 crores voted for BJP. 100% population, out of which 65% are adults, 44% voted out of the total 100%, 44% actually voted, out of which 17% voted to BJP. 17% of the total population. Is that really a majority? I don't... Makes sense. I guess किसी ने बोला होगा 17% BJP voters. 70%, holy shit. So where did the 37% majority voters come from exactly? Here is the answer. Let's take a constant value of number of voters for BJP, that's 23 crores. 23 by 136 is 17%, 23 of 90 is 25%, and 23 of 60 is 38%, so 37%. Now what exactly are you taking that ratio off? Matters when you're taking a percentage like that. Changing the denominators like that, total population, adults, voters, changes the number in the end. Now let's take a scale for better understanding. From 17% to 25% to 37% to 70%. 17% of the total population of India voted for BJP. Now 25% of the Indian adults voted for BJP makes more sense to me. But again, it's 37% of the registered voters who voted. That's more accurate as well, and that's most accepted because it makes sense to most people. And 70% of Indians voted for BJP. That's a complete lie, so I'm not going to talk about that. Let's just push that away. Let's just talk about these three numbers: 17%, 25%, and 37%. Every single one of these numbers is technically accurate, and all of them are justified because in the end, all these three ratios, all these 3% come to one answer of 23 crores voted for BJP. But all these three numbers make you feel different depending on your bias. 17% वाले बोलेंगे कि
well, the government has a duty towards the entire population, so 17% is the most accurate number, and 17% of the entire population giving the power of 65% in Lok Sabha seems a bit weird.
25% वाले बोलेंगे कि
okay, fair enough, children can't really vote, so let's not count them. So let's count the total number of adults,
which includes people who didn't vote.
25% of the adult population of India voted for BJP.
Now third, 37%.
Only people who voted will be taken into consideration, and that's why 37% of the majority voters from 2019 gave the power of 65% in Lok Sabha.
All three are justified in their own ways, and no matter who you are, you will agree with one of them. But that's not it. You don't just agree with one of these, you also disagree with the other two. We always see what we want to see according to our bias, and we'll feel the other perspectives are unjustified. So in the end, even though 17, 25 and 37, they all lead to 23 crores, the 37% feels a lot larger than the 17%. That's just obvious. 65% majority in Lok Sabha exists. That is true. But majority of the population didn't really vote for them. A small majority definitely did, but the larger majority didn't. So there are multiple ways to look at it. If that was a really complicated way to explain the numbers thing, here's a smaller example. 130 crore vaccines have been given out till date in India. It's a big number, but it's just 35% of the population completely vaccinated and total of 60% population at least vaccinated once, which is just more confusing. It's so what about the 40%? Like, it doesn't make sense. Does that include the numbers of children as well? Because vaccines haven't been out for children yet. And that being said, India is a very different country. It's tightly packed, it's highly populated, about to be the most populated country, and like it's really one of a kind. So comparing it with other nations like US or Canada, because they've vaccinated 70% of their population completely, that kind of comparison is kind of unfair. But as soon as someone says 70% of the population of like other countries are fully vaccinated, calling them anti-national for that, I am pointing out that both arguments are unfair. Don't make either. The problem with having 65% majority in Lok Sabha, in my opinion, is that the majority in the House can do whatever they want in oppose of the people who didn't vote for them or the minorities or the opposition. But I believe in democracy because no matter how much the majority in the Lok Sabha, I don't know why I did the air quotes, it is the majority in the Lok Sabha. They are religious fanatics or not, that's not the point. In the end, the constitution would not allow the religion and the constitution to work together because of secularism.
Shut up, dude. Secularist, anti-national, घुसेड़ के anti-India, भाड़ में जा तू.
Okay, I agree. The way the words were added in the constitution, it wasn't the correct way to do it. Or I would even say I don't really agree with how it happened and how it did, or even if it was right or wrong. But how about the word socialist? Why is that considered such a bad word?
Because so many bad things, good things.
Like every single good thing has a bad side as well. Nothing good that seems good is always good. Nothing bad that seems bad is always bad. There's always good to the bad to the good, yin and yang and whatnot. Congress added those words.
Those words are bad and it's an attack on the constitution.
So what do? Change the word from socialist to equitable. That's in the work right now, by the way. That's being spoken about in the this next parliament session. It's just like it's kind of scary that's happening. India was built on the struggles of freedom fighters who were socialists. Look past the hate for the government and look past the hate of the people who are hating on the government and be a little more factual and constructive, which actually reminds me of the last video. I talked about stereotypes and how we bunch people up and hate on them and whatnot. I want to apologize for being a fucking idiot because I didn't say this, but first of all, 70% of the population did not vote for BJP. That's just a lie. Okay, fair enough. Second of all, the majority of Hindu population could not have voted for BJP because the majority of the population is way larger than the people voted for BJP. So I apologize for thinking that Hindus are bad because they want Hindutva, while a very small group of Hindus want that Hindutva. The small bad of the group does not apply to the larger group, no matter who they are. And again, kind of proves the point. We always try to see things the way we want to see it. The numbers definitely change how we see things, so let's be a little more accurate about it. A complete majority of population hasn't voted for BJP. A small majority has voted for BJP, and the BJP also has a 65% majority in the Parliament House, the Lok Sabha. I want everyone to understand this, right wing, left wing, both. To the right, even if the majority in Lok Sabha exists, the Indian constitution is always going to be biased towards the people of the nation, not the government in majority. To the left, this is the time to ask questions, be constructive, what they are doing, how they are doing it, what are their plans for the future, how can you help them? Not the time to have the power play, you shouldn't have the power, give the power to the left. Fucking work together. Oh, wait.
Because of the suspension of the 12 MPs, the halfway mark has come down in the Rajya Sabha. Now, effectively, the NDA has a slight temporary majority in the Rajya Sabha, which means they can bulldoze away bills and whatever else they want more smoothly for this session. From the looks of it, this is a blatant strong-arming technique to weaken opposition numbers in the upper house.
They need a strong opposition to debate certain topics and whatnot. And according to this, if that's what's going on, and if there's a majority in the Parliament House right now, it's kind of scary. Also, here's a fun fact. India is still run by the people and the majority of the people. The proof being the farm laws were protested by around 25 crore people and 23 crore people voted for BJP in 2019. So 25 crore is bigger than 23 crores. Just pointing out. And there's obviously the number is bigger because there are a lot more people in this country who support the protests but weren't out there. So yeah, the country is still run by the majority. It wasn't the unity anyone expected, but unity you got. That gives me hope. Now the question is, are you willing to look past that? Are you willing to look past your bias to see the reality of the numbers out there? The numbers don't lie. I showed the numbers to you. The sources are down there. So in the end, looking past the bias is the only way we can grow as a country. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.